hello, and good morning to everyone here. My name is Sharice Johnson Moore, and I am the executive producer of Entrepreneurial Corners. And today we have a very special guest with us. His name is Saverio Monachino, and he's the author of the compelling novel By Any Means Necessary. And he was born in Washington D.C. and shaped by decades of work with the CDC and NIH. Saverio brings a rare depth of insight into human nature, now transformed into powerful fiction, drawing inspiration from his intensive travels and years as a co-owner of an indie bookstore. His storytelling is layered, gripping, and unforgettable. So I want to welcome everyone. I want to welcome Mr. Saverio Monachino to our platform. And how are you doing today, Mr. Monachino?
Right now, I'm touched. That was a great introduction.
Thank you. Thank
Now
you.
I know who I am. Yeah,
All right, all right.
yeah, I'm
so
doing fine.
so want to get into about your journey and what inspired you to become an author, and how has your journey evolved with each book you've written?
Thanks. That's a great question. And my background is more in sciences, and so I came up through the trenches of the laboratory and moved on into a point where I got to be like a director of rather large groupings of scientists. And I've discovered things that's gone into clinical trials. But after so many years, you realize that only half of your brain is working on this. The part we're doing the discoveries, and it's very straightforward sort of things. But every once in a while, the other half of your brain wants to get involved too. You want to start thinking on both sides. And so I, I started working on fiction writing in the evenings. We had little kids at the time when they're in bed. I just got so tired of working in the science field. I wanted to come in another direction, let that half of my brain breathe a little bit, because there's so many things that you want to talk about which have nothing to do with infectious diseases and who's got which disease and what are you going to do about it, that sort of thing. There's so many other issues that are going on too. So I had to open another door. I had to open up the left side of my brain. That's why I started writing fiction.
Okay, all right, all right. So how do you balance writing multiple books while managing other responsibilities?
Well, when I was 50 years old, it was a problem, but now I'm retired from the science part of it, and I'm working now. Just it's fun, and there's so many things that you want to talk about.
Hmm.
So the best way, even though they are work of fictions, some of it's comedy, some of it's tragedy, but all along the way, I'm trying to talk about social issues which are bothering me or I want to speak about, that sort of thing.
Oh,
So that's why it's either this or cutting the grass in the middle of the summer, because it's better to stay inside and stay cool and think and write than to
oh,
do all the chores.
right,
I can
right.
still do them, but I prefer writing.
Yeah, so true, so true. So among how many books have you written so far?
By Any Means is the first book I wrote several years ago, and I've just finished my second one. I'm working on a third right now. So the second one is also published, A Little
Okay.
Bit of Faith. Um, so what was the how many
So
have
how
I
many
written?
books have you written so far?
Okay, so yeah, so right now two are published and one is in the
Yes.
works. That's in the fiction. In the science, I've got 100 publications in peer-reviewed journals. I've got many patents that took a lot of writing to do too. But again,
Okay.
that part I've closed that door. People
Mhm.
call up and ask for consults and stuff like that, but mostly I've closed that door and I'm working more on the fiction end because it's more fun.
Oh, okay, okay, all right. So, I wanted to ask you, how did it feel when you first became a published author?
it was that was great.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So somebody's actually reading what I what I wrote, besides my wife, and or my son.
Oh,
So no,
okay.
it was a lot of fun doing that. The hard part of anybody who is into the art of writing is a little bit harder to do the marketing of writing, and so that became a battle too. How do you get your story out there? You get interviewed by people like Charisse. Okay, that helps you get your story out there too. But that is again, there's the writing part is a lot of fun. Marketing has never been my strength or what have
Well, I know how it is. I am a published author myself of 3 books and working on my fourth as well. And the marketing part is like, okay, let me go take a marketing class. Let me
you.
learn about some marketing. So that has improved my marketing skills. And so in that process of you writing this book, um, you know, where did the inspiration come from to write by any means?
So to tell you the real story within by any means is what is it what is it better to do? Work for a job that gives you lots of money,
Um,
or work in a job that you're interested in and
mhm,
makes you happy. And that's the whole thing. When I was doing the research and I was very happy in the laboratory and we're talking science and things are getting done, when you start moving up the ladder and you're in the marketing, you
mhm,
see different aspects of the job and it's not fun anymore. It's stressful, much more stressful. So I started writing these as a way to get over that the stressful part and allow
mhm.
the story. The basically the story is uh, about Giorgio and his family. He's got 2 brothers who are making lots of money, but they're always up, stressed out, and he was moving in the direction of something we like to do, which was um, had to do with food, and I
Okay.
like that too. We're Italian, what the heck? And so he was going
Right?
in the right direction.
Yes.
He's
Hmm.
opening up a store which is selling specialty item foods and stuff like that. And even though his brothers are giving him shit about it,
Hmm.
is making him happy.
Okay, okay. The character is the story based on your life or is it fictional?
No, no, it's pretty. I mean, besides the fact that it was getting stressful working later on, I'm trying to get a release valve when I was writing this.
Yeah.
I just uh, some people in my family when they immigrated over here were working small stores and selling food and things like
Oh,
that.
okay.
But mostly it was just talking about people I met. We lived in Montreal at that time when I was writing
Okay.
this. And it's a great place. We were up there for 3 years. But in Montreal, we're foreigners, and so when the company was getting bought out by a bigger company, they wanted
Yes.
all the foreigners to go back to the states or whatever. So we
Oh,
had to leave. But
okay.
but Montreal itself was a great place. Before that, we
Uh-huh.
were in Houston, Texas for 5 years. My son was born in Houston,
Okay.
and wherever we went, we had really good friends made,
Mm,
next door neighbors and other people we made. The next door neighbors in Houston, they had a son and daughter. We have a son and daughter, same ages, best friends for life, and things like that. But
mm.
up in Montreal, you had to get adjusted to the cold, and I would rather live in Montreal in the cold weather than in Houston in the hot weather. But
Yeah.
the people up in Montreal were a lot of fun too. We were learning to speak French or Quebecois, and so a lot of all the characters in that book are based on people that I worked with when I was up in
Oh,
Montreal. So I used their personalities to make the characters in the book. That was
yes.
a lot of fun. But that's why I write by my Saverio Monachino, so none of them actually find out that I wrote the book about about them.
About them, right? Ooh, they were like, no. Well, that sound like somebody I know.
Yep.
So but it's good that we have decided to sit down and write about our lives. No matter how we tell that story, it is good to think about the happy days and the happy
Yeah,
times and keep
exactly. It's
those in mind.
like a catharsis. All the bad comes out and gets out of there, and you can go
Yeah.
back to remembering how beautiful life is. And that's basically the storyline here. Is it's not only does he find a nice place to work, which he's doing, he also finds love and things like that.
Oh, okay, that's
But
wonderful.
yeah,
That's
there's a love interest tell you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, are you ready to read us an excerpt out of your book?
Oh, sure. I would love to. It's really just the first couple of pages or the first couple paragraphs in the first few pages, and it has to do with the state he was in, painting this painting the picture of what's going to happen that he becomes involved with.
Okay.
Sorry. So the chapter one is it was a warm and humid night, and even though we were in Houston for 5 years and the humidity is overwhelming in the summertime, they were complaining up in Montreal because they had like a 70% humidity on the day. It's like what the heck? But anyway, here it is. Quiet is a relative term, like truth or beauty, and relatively quiet was one way to describe the plateau at 3 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Other descriptors might include hot and sticky, both of which could also be qualified with the same adverb. Without stretching, one might find the night peaceful, as in more peaceful than quiet. Peaceful, however, is also enmeshed in a relativity, and hence it too would need qualifications, such as it was as peaceful as one might expect in a residential neighborhood in the heart of Montreal. Montreal is like most cosmopolitan cities. It is an insomniac. It never really sleeps, and if it dozes from time to time, it does so with one eye open. For example, at any hour of the night, one might hear the wail of an ambulance in a hurry and wonder what sorrows set it in motion. And, of course, there are always emergency repair crews going about their business while those around them sleep. And as Edward Hopper might paint, there's always a diner somewhere serving hot coffee in a, to a misfit ensemble of nighthawks. If one was able to filter all the seemingly inconsequential ambient sounds of the resting city into their component parts, like passing light through a prism, the telltale marks of the graveyard shift would come into focus. Those nocturnal beings, by design or decree, over the course of time have gradually inverted their annual diurnal rhythms. The meaning of day and night for them is, then, in need of qualifications. That's just setting the background of the night shift, and what's going to be observed, which is basically the first murder murder in
Oh,
the book.
okay. It sounds like a really interesting read. And so, with that, what advice would you give an aspiring author?
Um, Last night, I was with a group of other aspiring authors at the library close to where I live, and so we meet once a month. And there's always a couple of new people coming around, and they're nervous and they're reluctant, and they don't want to read what they're writing, and they don't want to get criticism, they don't want to get critiqued,
Mhm.
whatnot. But it is the most important thing. And if you have a big ego, like I do, it's the
Okay.
most difficult thing to have somebody read it and give you their take on the situation.
Yes.
Usually they'll try to be civil, but every once in a while the words come out saying this is a piece of law and you need to change that sort of thing. But that's okay. It really is okay because really people are I'm over embellishing what they how they would talk, but they're trying to let you know that they don't understand what you're saying, and so you really have to write to your audience so that they know that they can follow along the storyline, however you want to put it together. So
Yes.
again, don't worry about that. Let the ego go away for a little while and just listen
Mhm.
to the critiques as you're writing,
Oh,
and try and
okay.
get people who are good at reading and critiquing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Besides your son, who told me that the whole thing was, but that's another story.
Oh, okay. So, how did your kids take to reading your manuscript?
Well, our daughter is always busy running marathons and stuff like that, so she doesn't have a lot of time to read. But my son is an avid reader, and he
Mhm.
actually, I'm kind of making a joke. He's a lawyer now over in Cincinnati, but
Uh,
he does a lot of reading, and we read similar books together all the time.
mhm.
So when he was critiquing, it was really, really well done.
Oh, okay, okay. So did he help you with any edits?
Yes, one of the at some point or another, you're going to need some editing. It's
Mm,
sometimes it gets expensive to get editors involved, but at least some of the family members will do it
mm.
pro bono or whatever. So yeah, he did edit quite a bit. Yeah,
Oh, I know that was a
and
pleasure.
my wife also, she's very good at that.
Okay, all right. So family affair, huh? Everybody in on the writing game, right?
Yeah, as long as as long as I don't put their names into the book, I'm okay.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. So, that's wonderful to hear that your family is was so instrumental in composing
Yeah,
this manuscript, and you very seldom find that when you have family members are willing to read your manuscript and give you their input, the input.
right.
And it's so very seldom we find that authors have that in their arsenal, that they have their in-house editors. you know
Yeah, it is. Out. Would say I'm not really outgoing so much. It's something that you learn along the way to be with that. You're more introverted, and so it
Mhm.
is a little bit difficult to give it up to somebody else just to look at it without.
Mhm.
But it must be done.
Yes, gotta be done. Gotta be done. Are there any new projects or books are you currently working on?
Let me just talk about my second book for a second, then I'll go on to the third. So the first book by any means was written when I was way back in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of 2007, I was in a terrible accident. And
Oh,
so
okay.
I was in coma for quite a while. Then I
Mm-hmm.
was in ICU. I was in the outpatient second hospital, non-ICU. Then I was almost for a year. I was under outpatient rehab.
Mm-hmm.
And so, speaking, word usage were all gone for quite a long time. Traumatic brain injury, and if you're
Mm-hmm.
really good at if I look this way, this ear floats out pretty high. It had to be reattached and a lot of other things. But it's
Oh,
a traumatic brain injury. Everything on the left hand side was broken.
oh.
And so my second book, by a little bit of faith, had a lot to do with what you see in a coma and how you come out of a coma and things like that. But it's story bound. It has a lot of interesting stories in it,
Mm-hmm.
but it was very difficult to write because again it took a while to get back in, and while I was working in science before, I could never go back to that mode of work. But I ended up with the bookstore in Frenchtown, which is on the Delaware River, on the riverbanks in
Mm-hmm.
Hunterdon County. And for 8 years, I was learning how to speak again and interact with people and stuff like that. So my second book was a lot about coming out of a coma, but I have a lot of other things that I want to talk about. And some of the characters in each book are the same. And so I have some characters to work with. And
Mm-hmm.
the next book has to do with something which is going on now, which again, for my sciences, had to do with the ability to CRISPR genes. So it's very good when you have genetic problems, but
Mm-hmm.
also leading to a point where people are going to want to redesign themselves
Oh.
and make themselves uh, different color hair, different color eyes, different weight, things like that.
Oh.
It's not a
Oh.
good thing to do, and yet it
Mm-hmm.
is in motion right now. So I'm
Yeah.
writing. That's one thing which is going to take over my next book. That and the move towards AI. um, AI now can write a book as fast as I can write a book, if not faster. And
Mm-hmm.
what do you do about that sort of thing? Where do you take humanity away from artificial intelligence and let them
Yes.
separate themselves, not become one?
Yeah.
So that's something which is, and so yes, it will be a little bit funny too, but that's where I'm going with this particular my
Oh.
next particular book.
Okay. All right. You have to come back and let us know. When it come out, and and let
It'll
us.
be another year
Let
before
us.
that one's out, but that's why I go to this book club once a
Mhm.
month and read to them, and they say no, no, no. So
Oh, so
you
you
know.
take what you write
Oh
and take
yeah,
it to
yeah,
the book club that you go to at the library,
yeah, yeah,
and they tell you yes or no with the passage that you read.
yeah. So
Ooh,
everybody brings something, not every time. So every
yeah.
couple of months you'll bring some stuff, and they'll say
Uh-huh.
yes or no. They like it, they don't like it, and that's a good feedback mechanism.
Okay, all right. I'll try that in my next book then. And that's a great idea. That's such a great idea. I hope my
Well, send,
authors are
send me a copy. I'll give you some
okay. I hope my authors are watching
Yeah,
because I have a lot of author friends myself, and we always looking for different ways to do different things with our books. So y'all got it first here. Join your author group at the library, or did you create the group yourself, or
no, no. There's yes. I did not create it. I would just got word of mouth saying that they're meeting at. I could have gone back. I live about 30 minutes away from Frenchtown. We live a little bit to the east of
Mhm.
Frenchtown,
Yes,
and near Clinton, New
hmm,
Jersey.
yes,
And instead of going back and joining groups that are back in at night in Frenchtown, which
hmm,
it's dark, it's a long ride back, it's not a major road. Um,
yes.
it was easier just to go 5 minutes away in Clinton,
Oh,
where the library is, and work with those people.
okay, all right. That sounds like a great idea. So all my author friends, y'all got a good clue today. Is see if the library has a writing group at the library, and
Yeah,
see, and go in and join the group, and for your next writing, your next book that you may be composing, and take it and get join the group and get them passages to read and stuff, and ask them for their opinion of what they think about what
exactly.
that passage is.
Your story is inside your head, and you're
Yes.
trying to put it down on paper, and does anybody understand what you're trying to say? And
Yeah.
that's the hard part. I don't want
Oh,
to simplify things too much because I'm not writing for high schoolers or something like that. I'm
yeah.
writing for everybody else,
Adult.
but still, not everybody thinks the way you do, and so you have to
Yes.
make sure they understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes. So true. So true. So what's next for you in your writing journey?
Winning the Nobel Prize? No, I'm.
You know what? No, you don't
Everybody's
spoke
saying
it
that.
now. You don't spoke that in the fruition. So that is something that we all had aspirations of what we hope that things will come into play, and we gonna walk with that. We're gonna walk with that,
Yeah.
because that's something that you feel that
Yeah.
you want to accomplish.
I think spending a little bit more time working with the marketing groups, and so that's why I'm interviewing with you today because
Yes.
the people from Chicago, the elite scribes,
Hmm.
con- connected us, and so
Yes.
that's a good thing. And I'm just trying to get more of this type of interaction. Right
Oh.
now, there's a group in Germany that wants to take um, by any means and
Mhm.
try and market it in the bookstores in Europe, not just because it was promoted at the Frankfurt Book Fair a couple
Oh.
months ago. So
Okay.
again, uh, if I wasn't working with the guys in Chicago, none of this would have happened. There you go.
Okay. Okay. So, um, how did you come across your publishing company, the publishing company?
Um, by any means was first published again back in 2006, 2007,
Hmm.
um, way back then. And that
Hmm.
company went out of business sometime around 2015, 14 or 15.
Okay.
And so I had to republish it through, first through Kindle wasn't really operating in at Amazon at the time. There was another
Hmm.
group that was trying to set up what became Kindle,
Yeah.
and I had it there for a while. But then Ingram Spark had some group from Ingram Spark wanted
Mhm.
to take that on with my second book, and so
Mhm.
that's where it was first republished.
Okay.
But Kindle has access to the ebook, and they have the hardback version of that particular book too. So it's juggling right now different entities. But the group that's working with me now is very much attached with Amazon. So Kindle is getting a lot of uh, our material now to promote. So
Oh,
so two different types of publishing house. The publishing house is from Ingram Spark, but it's being sold through Kindle and Amazon
yes,
also.
yes. All right. Okay. Well, um, Mr. Saverio, where can we find you on the social media and website and things of that nature?
Wow, I don't have those written out, but go Saverio Monachino on uh, on Google, and you'll find it in a lot of different places. There's two different web pages, and then there's a Ingram, uh, uh, a couple of other. Wait a minute, I'm going to get one here. I'm going to go offline for a second.
Yes, the book title is By Any Means. It can be found on Amazon. This is the link that we have at the on the page, the one for Amazon. And you can also contact Mr. Saravino through his email. It is support at booklandwriters.com. So you also can reach him through
Yeah,
Instagram at
yeah.
author Saverio
Saverio
Monachino.
Monachino
Mon-
books, and you'll
yes.
find that. Yeah, you'll find that a
Yes.
couple different ways.
Yes.
Very
And
good.
then you also find him on Facebook. You can also find Mr. Saravino on Facebook. I greatly appreciate you coming by and coming and sitting with us. And I greatly appreciate you and your knowledge, especially with the CDC. Okay. So,
Way back when, before it got changed over, yeah, it was a little
yeah,
bit different.
right.
But I
Yes.
don't want to talk
Yes.
about that right now.
We'll talk about that another day,
Yeah.
right? So I want to thank you. Thank you for everyone for coming in. And our special guest today was
Saverio.
Saverio Monachino,
Yeah.
and he is the author of By Any Means, By Any Means, and
Justified.
it can be found on Amazon. And is it ebook as well?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay,
And a
ebook,
hardback,
Kindle,
yes.
KDP,
Yep.
and is it in hardback?
Yes.
Okay, so it's all in three forms:
Yep.
paperback, hardback, and ebook. So go and grab your copy today. And thank you to everyone for coming in on today's Entrepreneurial Corners, where our special guest was Saverio Monachino. All right, thank you. And I hope everyone have a blessed day.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.